everybody, this is Tatiana. I am currently repotting my yellow bell pepper today. This has been alive since September of 2022 and it's currently April of 2023. I'm going to be repotting it today since it's been alive. It's starting to curl up a little bit no matter how much water I've been giving it. And I'm pretty sure the only reason it has been alive this long is because of the quartz crystals I put in it in October. And I want to keep doing crystal experiments with this plant as well as some others in my garden. In October of 2022, Connecting Consciousness had Dan Willis as a presenter for a Zoom meeting. And I was lucky enough to ask him a few questions. He had mentioned to me, amongst other things I had asked, that he had put quartz in a few of his plants. And he had some pretty good results with that. So as soon as that Zoom meeting was over, I put 2 quartz pieces in different plants. Later I would add both quartz crystals into the same yellow bell pepper plant, which is still alive. It's still kicking. I also noticed that not just Dan Willis was putting quartz crystals with plants, but several other people have, including Dr. Marcel Vogel had incorporated quartz with his plants, and he was doing lots of experiments with that as well, and several other people have been putting quartz in their plants, in their gardens, and some people are even experimenting with copper. So I thought I should give it more of a shot, see what happens, and document some of my findings. Once I repotted the yellow bell pepper plant, I created a triangle around the base of it. The front 2 pieces of the triangle are actually 2 of the quartz pieces that I had initially placed with it back in October. After I placed the triangle down, I decided to do a clockwise circle of crystals around that. Not all of the quartz crystals have points, but I figure the geometry of both the triangle and the circle could make up for that, as well as the intention I was setting, and the fact that I had charged them in the sunlight and water. It's been about 20 minutes since I repotted this bell pepper, and I added the crystals, and it's already got a stronger aura already, and that's pretty wild. Day 2, I decided to add some seaweed fertilizer to the soil and give it some water. It was really hot out. Day 3, I added in a different crystal because I thought I lost one of the surrounding crystals. I found it later on, and I put in the newer crystal, the one that was initially in the soil that went in deeper. I decided to add that one to one of my brandywine tomatoes. On day 4, we had really heavy rain, so I wasn't able to record any of the pepper. Day 5, it had rained overnight again. Looking at the garden on day 6, we see not only the yellow bell pepper plant is still doing well, but we see the rest of the garden is doing fantastic. Between the rain and the energy from the crystals, everything is growing beautifully. In fact, it almost seems as if the crystals around the yellow bell pepper plant have created almost an energy beacon for lots of good energies to flow through the plants in the garden. Even the brandywine tomato has some new growth that has the crystal in it. when I came back to look at the yellow bell pepper plant later on in the day, I actually touched the soil and it was buzzing with energy, and it was a lot warmer closer to the root of the plant, which is very unusual, but because I was doing some gardening work with the other plants, and the soil on the other plants was a lot cooler than the soil that was touching the yellow bell pepper. Day 7 was an interesting day for sure. It started off with a little bit of wind, and the soil still felt warmer at the base of the yellow bell pepper plant than the other plants in my garden. I did repot a few of my cherry bell radishes, and I put a crystal into one of the radishes, and I kept testing the soil during the day, seeing, yeah, it was a lot warmer than the rest of the soil. And after running a few errands for some of the day, I asked my dad to touch the soil as well. And here's what he said.
It does feel warmer over here.
In conclusion, this has been a fantastic experiment, and I do plan on putting more quartz in my garden. I do plan on experimenting a little bit more with the piezoelectric effect from the crystals, and definitely with working with more geometry. The warmth and buzzing from the yellow bell pepper plant is either due to feeling the energy of the crystals, or it could be the fact that many of the crystals I had used didn't all have points. Some had jagged edges, so that might also have something to do with it. Thanks for watching. I had an absolute blast working with my garden and the beautiful quartz beings that I put in my garden. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to press the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Bye.